Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Manager's Video Blog here in the city of Latrobe. I'm Graziani, the city manager here, and I'm just glad that you were able to join us. Where I'm at today is in Police Chief James Bumar's office. I wanted to come over here today because from time to time I think it's important in the Manager's Video Blog take an opportunity to shine a spotlight on some of the great employees we have in this city, as well as some of the things that are going on that will be interesting to the taxpayers here in the city. And for this particular week, I wanted to come over to see Chief Bumar because this is a special week for him. Besides that, it was Valentine's Day and he got to spend some time with his bride. It was also the 1-year anniversary of him taking the position as chief here in the city of Latrobe. And so I thought it'd be good to come over and visit the chief a bit and share a little bit about who he is and kind of what his vision is for the city of Latrobe. Hope you find this interesting. Jim, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure, Alex.
One of the best things about being hired here is getting a chance to meet you and to work with you. We didn't know each other at all a few months ago, but it's been kind of neat. For people who are watching this, how did you come to be a police officer? Give us a little bit of your resume. How many years have you been working as a police officer? A little bit of background about yourself.
Well, I've been with the city of Latrobe. Actually, when I started, it was a borough. 27 years. It was a job that I wanted to do. I wanted to help people in a job. And I also needed a career where I didn't have to be contained or behind a machine or sit at a desk. I have to be able to move around and go about and interact. So I thought this was a good career choice.
You said it's taken as a job. It's interesting to me. Was there a point where you decided that this is what I really want to do for good? I like this.
Yeah, I just think the every day being different is what really sold me on the job. It was kind of what I wanted to do personally, for personal enrichment, by helping people, by being out among the public. That the different atmosphere, the different people, the different kind of incidents that happen daily really sold me on it as a career rather than just a job.
Police officers are under a lot of stress. We hear a lot in the news about post-traumatic stress disorder, particularly with our military. It's unbelievable what those men and women have to face. Certainly your team and you yourself have probably had incidents that you would never want to share with anyone. But on the positive side, was there any time or anything you'd like to share of, whether it was something you were able to do as a police officer that you were particularly proud that you got to do that and were glad to be there at that time?
Well, being a police officer, you take an oath. And that oath is, of course, to protect and serve. And any time that you can do that, it's fulfilling. Any time that you can live out the oath, live out the things that you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to serve the public, how you're supposed to help people, it's very enriching.
Yeah, Jimmy's a little, I think, humble. I just found out recently he was had to, because a family member was up at the hospital, be there at the emergency room, and there was an incident. I believe the incident had something to do with an orderly being dragged through drugged through the emergency room area. And Chief Bumar was really Johnny on the spot. And here's what he did: he helped the person to understand that he ought to stop that by informing the person that he was a police officer and he needed to stop. The person didn't quite understand what that meant, and after a few words, found out that he needed to stop. And I'm really glad and really proud that we have a guy like Jimmy that it didn't matter that he was in jeans and a t-shirt, and the last thing he was expecting to do that evening was to protect and to preserve, that he was willing to do that at the drop of a hat in any moment. So it's just fun being around you and hearing some of those things.
Well, I thought from taking this chief's job, my midnight tussles were over, but apparently not. Duty called that night.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was in the right place at the right time.
I'm glad you were. Speaking of Chief, again, having the 1-year anniversary, are there any particular accomplishments that you're proud of this first year?
Well, there's a lot of things that I wouldn't say that I'm proud of them as a department head. Not any accomplishment that happened over the last year was based on me. It was based on this department, on a supportive council, on a supportive administration. Obviously, the canine unit's a big thing. Our working dog is working, and we've had hundreds of incidents already where he's been involved. from tracking to drug sniffing to assisting in apprehensions. He's been a real positive to the department. Also, the website and the Facebook. This day and age, media is a big thing in police work.
So Rocky's got a Facebook too, huh?
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. So, along with the department. We've solved a couple crimes already by Facebook, where we put actual photos of film from a quick shop or 24-hour convenience store where a crime was committed. We put the film on the Facebook, and people actually Facebooked in and identified the
So how does this work? Do I like search Latrobe Police and try to friend you?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And Rocky also. And also we have our website that's pretty much a historical outline of the department and the current department.
And what's the URL for that? Because we're a little different here at the city.
It's the website is latrobepolicedepartment.com.
Okay, very good. The City of Latrobe website is cityoflatrobe.com. So a little bit different. We are on the same page, though we're not all on the same web page. That's great. The first year it's been exciting. Again, working with you has just been an eye-opener, you know, how the job works, and your professionalism is outstanding. One of the things I was most impressed with you is day one, you kind of were pressing my buttons, and that was the idea of having a plan, and one that talked about vision, one that talked about mission, and it was a strategic plan, a plan of where you wanted the department to go. I want you to share a few minutes of and some of the insights or some of the things. Where do you want this department to be in 5 years, 10 years, or
Well,
going into the future?
I signed a 5-year contract, so obviously I have a 5-year strategic plan.
Great.
So far, we're on track for the first year, maybe even a little ahead of the strategic plan. But the main thing throughout the strategic plan, everything that we accomplish or every goal we set out to achieve, it is a betterment for this community. It is a betterment for the taxpayers. It is a betterment for the city of Latrobe. Everything we do in this strategic plan will make our officers better, more educated, more sharp to respond to things, to pick up things, and that's really the crux of the strategic plan, to make a better department. Along that lines, we also want to expand our talents. I mean, if we can contract our services out, it would be a great thing. I think that we have a talented bunch of officers, and I really think that the surrounding areas or private agencies or organizations could really benefit from that talent. We have very well-trained officers, very intelligent officers, and very good officers with a good work ethic. So I want to be able to have this department give the best that it can give to the city of Latrobe, and also be available for any other outside entities.
And at the end of the day, when you do the job in a small town like this, I would imagine that, you know, being a community police force, that community policing, interaction with the public at various levels, at events, knowing what's going on in neighborhoods is really important. How can the public help the police force here in Latrobe?
Well, it's basically interaction between the citizen and police officer. When you say community policing, the whole basis of community policing is proactive. It's not reactive. A lot of communities, including ourselves, at one time were reactive. A crime happens, we go out and answer the crime, do the report, whatever, investigate, solve the crime. Community policing is based on proactive, where you go out and interact, and it's crime prevention. It's preventative measures so you don't have the crime. You don't have the loss of money. You don't have the injury, personal injury. It's proactive. You interact, the citizens interacting with the police. Things like community watch, neighborhood watch, programs like that, crime prevention.
Elder care, looking on neighbors who are...
Even if our officers go out and speak at different groups, church groups, different educational functions, they go out and they educate the public as to how to prevent these things. These are all proactive and fall under the community policing realm.
Excellent. Chief, this has been outstanding. I think we could talk for a long time and would love to do that. So what we'll do, I think going into the future, is do another manager's video blog. Maybe one of these days we'll start a Chief of Police video blog here, and the residents of Latrobe can tune into that. I think it's important to know, again, just on that last note, when it comes to local government and public safety, in a small town like this, it really does matter that we look out for one another, whether that's elder care and preventing elder abuse or issues with children and other things of public safety. Our police can't be everywhere. And no matter how hard they work or how many men and women we have out there, they just can't be everywhere. And we really do rely on the public, and they're looking out for one another to come alongside what we do to assist us. As Jimmy says, I think is a proactive way. So with that, as always, we're available here at the city building. Would love to hear from you, even particularly about this issue. I know the chief, if you have particular concerns about how what we do can be done better, we would love to hear from you. So with that, look forward to a future video blog, and have a good day. Thank you for joining us.